So I'm a big fan of head torches and I have far too many of them. And this is the third video. I'm just going to compare my favourite basic cheap head torch. So I've got the Zipka, which I normally like, and I'm comparing it with this Tinmiu branded head torch, which is cheaper, is rechargeable as it comes, and also has a hands-free switch, which is very clever. So in order to quickly measure the brightness of these torches, I've made up a little rig. So just to show how simple this is just a lux light meter, which is nailed to this bit of wood, and I've got a old milk bottle as a diffuser. So when you shine the lights through it, it will give you, it spreads the beam, and it means you can compare the different brightnesses. So the other thing I wanted to do, just for a bit of nostalgia really, this is my original Zipka, which is the 4 LED version. Now I much prefer these to the traditional headband, just because they're much smaller, and because I only wear them for 5 minutes at a time. This suits me perfectly. I find this head strap perfectly comfortable. It also means you can wrap it around things, so you can easily put it around your wrist if you're just walking and you want to just have it as a hand torch, or you can put it round, I've put it round bike handlebars. So again, you can just loop this round and attach it to anything that sort of presents itself to mount a torch to. That's why I prefer the zip type strap to the headband. So yeah, this is the earlier ones I've got. I've got a couple of these of the 4 LED. Now I believe there was an even earlier 3 LED version, but I don't have that. These are both pretty worn and both have started to crack in the same place actually. So they've both got cracks on them, but they still work fine, and I still use these. Then this is the Zipka Plus 2, which was the brighter version, which introduced the red light. And is got a much brighter, like a cob type LED. And then lastly, there's this latest type, which again is just neater still, is much brighter again, and it fits the rechargeable core battery. So I just wanted to quickly compare the brightness between them, just to see how much things have come on really, again using the little test rig. So this is the original Zipka 4 LED. And this is giving out, I'm calling it 12. So that's not an actual lumen measurement, it's just a relative number. So then if I compare that one with the Zipka Plus 2, which is definitely much, much brighter, that's giving me a reader of 15. And then if I compare that with the new Zipka, it's much, much brighter. So that's straight away giving me 27. And just to compare this Tinmiu light, this is giving me a reading of 22, which is right between the new Zipka and the older ones. That is reading 19 when it started on 22, so it's almost dropped nothing, which is really impressive. So I think for $12.99 that's a really good buy. The other thing I wanted to show you on this Tinmiu, it's got this switchless mode where if you push the left side of the button you get this red glowing light, and if you wave your hand in front of it, it will turn off, and if you wave your hand again it turns back on. And when you're wearing it on your head, that's so convenient, because it means that when you walk inside you can just wave at it, you don't have to fumble around looking for the switch. It works really, really well. So yeah, for $12.99 for a rechargeable head torch with that touchless feature, I think that's a really good buy. So yeah, if you don't mind the head strap, then I think that's fantastic. So one of the other big differences between these head torches is their beam pattern. Zipka has just got one beam, but it's slightly broader, slightly less focused. And then lastly, the Tinmiu, again, it's got a very small spot. It does bleed out a little bit around the edges, but it's still quite small. So this is the Zipka with the core rechargeable pack in it, and that's on full brightness, and as you can see it's very bright, and as soon as you go outside it still lights a good way, but it doesn't have that sort of piercing single beam, but it's still absolutely fine for working, doing things around. So this is the Tinmiu, and the really clever thing about this is if I just wave my hand in front of my head it turns off, and if I wave my hand again it turns on. So if you're going in and out of a dark space, it gives you almost as much control as the Reactic, but at a fraction of the cost. If I just go outside, it's got quite a narrow beam. It's got some peripheral light, but it does shine a good long way, but still with enough sort of surrounding light that you can still see the edges. But the main standout thing to me is that it's this, that you just wave and it turns off, and you wave and it turns back on again, which is such a clever feature and so works absolutely perfectly. So yeah, that for $12.99 for a USB rechargeable head torch with that touchless feature, I think is an absolute bargain. And if you don't mind the neck strap, this I think is the best value there is.